you guys some awesome information today. All right. I think we're just going to go ahead and get started then. Hello, everyone, and welcome. We're so excited to have you all here. So thank you so much for joining. Again, we have quite a few people signed up for this, and we know not everyone has gotten a chance to get in. Some folks are maybe still in the waiting room, but we'll be getting everyone in shortly. We are super excited to have you all joining us today, and a couple tips as you see on the screen. If you can't see me, then go to your upper right hand screen and click on speaker view. Make sure that you're looking at speaker view and not gallery view, and that will keep the speaker kind of in the spotlight for you. And make sure to use the Zoom chat box to direct message each other, ask questions of our speakers or of the MPI Board of Directors. We're all here to chat with you and engage, so please allow that to happen through the Zoom chat box. For faster speeds, make sure that you have closed out all your other browser windows. Using a headset for audio is going to be really helpful, so hopefully you're using something like that. And we would love to all see your faces, so if you turn on your videos, please make sure you do that. If you don't want to, that's totally fine too, but we would love to see, love to see your faces. Again, we are expecting quite a few people today, so got to keep letting them all roll in. But we really want to thank Megan Powers of Powers of Marketing and Angela Minardi with Fit City for coming on today and doing our program with us. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're really excited to share it with you all. Before we get to our program, I wanted to just mention a few things really quickly. WEC, for all of you MPI folks, has been moved to November, so check out the global website for that. Our MPISD Gala is going to be this June 11th, and we are so excited for this. We have got a fantastic program scheduled for you all, and we will be bringing you tons of information about it, so please keep an eye out for emails. And then we just recently sent out a local member survey, and so if you have not gotten that email, we'll be sending it out again. It's also available on the website. We want to hear from you. This is an opportunity as we are heading into the board of directors, heading into a retreat. This is our opportunity to talk with each other about what our members really want to see from us. So please take just a few minutes. It's not a very long survey. Go on and give us as much information as you can about what you need right now in this COVID situation that we're all kind of dealing with. So again, thank you all for joining us. We're so excited that everyone is here. We're so excited to have Angela and Megan. Thank you both for joining us. Hope you all are doing well, and I'm going to turn this right over to the ladies that do it well.
Great, thanks very much, Alyssa. At this point, wanted to introduce myself to you. I'm Rachel Cohn. I am the Director of Professional Development for our MPI San Diego chapter, and I wanted to introduce our first speaker to you. So Angela Minardi is our first speaker and presenter. She is the founder and Chief Experience Officer at Fit City Adventures, San Diego's corporate lifestyle concierge. Angela moved here 4 years ago from the Northeast and jumped into all things active. After 20 years in corporate marketing and wellness, working for companies like CVS Health, Google, and Kaiser Permanente, she brought her passions and strengths together to start Fit City in 2018. Angela lives in Encinitas and is a member of many organizations, including the North County Chamber of Commerce, the Junior League of San Diego, and the San Diego Tourism Authority. You can find her on the beach with her dog Bodhi, or in her kitchen with her new hobby, learning to cook and eat Indian food. So let's all welcome Angela Minardi.
Thank you, Rachel. Hi, everyone. I hope you're ready to focus a little bit on yourself and take a few minutes out of your day for some much needed mindfulness. So I just ask that everyone get in a comfortable seat if you're not in one right now, and also have a little bit of room around you because we are going to do some Qigong movement, so we will be standing as well. Just to give you a little bit of background on Fit City, for some of you that haven't heard of it, I have partnered with a few of you on the call, and I really appreciate those partnerships. Next slide. Our mission is, oops. You can go back to the mission statement. Thank you. To cultivate and inspire meaningful human connections through health-focused team building and wellness programs. So everything that we do now virtually as well as in person at live events is all about connecting people, and it ranges from leisure to adventure. So you can go to the next slide. Here's some of our clients, and we've been lucky enough to work with some big brands and local companies as well, and we're hopeful that when we're back on track here towards the end of the year, we'll continue on with those conferences and conventions. Next slide. We also build a nonprofit piece into this, and wanted to mention this for you all out there. If you have clients that are looking to do something with their charity of choice, we work with a lot of nonprofits to build that into the team building, whether we're on the beach, cleaning the beach, or doing an event with the American Heart Association or Food Bank. We think that's really important, and we do find a way to build that into our programming. Next slide. So here's just a sample of some of the things that we do. Again, over 100 different types of activities. We'd like to stay active. We say we see San Diego in a fun, fit, new way. And so it's a great way for people to bond and get to know each other in a different way. Next slide. So now we're doing things all virtually, and we are here to support you. We have these 10 amazing workshops that we've been running, which is great because we can do them across the country and even globally. And these are all starting to be really popular. In particular, our cooking and cocktails class. We send some of the food and the ingredients in advance, and we host a class. We're also working with Snake Oil Cocktails, who I know is a supporter of MPI, to do our cocktail portion. But it ranges from cooking to game shows to a battle of the bands where we create a team anthem with some pretty famous musicians, to improv and meditation like you'll see today. So really a wide variety, and we're not stopping because things are virtual. We're here to keep people even more connected than ever. So please reach out and let us know how we can help you. Next slide. And this is just one sample of the mindfulness, which we're going to get into right now. We have a composer that we work with. His name is Murray Hittery, and he plays music, piano, in real time and weaves in binaural beats into the music so that it brings your the gamma waves into a state of meditation. It's beautiful. It's beautiful at a live event, but we do it virtually as well. And we host mindful walking meditations with Murray every week. We also host sound bowl and sound bath classes, which is just as amazing through Zoom as it is in person. And so those are some of the unique mindful classes that we're running. But today, next slide, we're going to talk a little bit about our Say No to Stress session, which we run with clients. And we're going to get into a little bit of mindfulness, but we truly believe that it's a connection of mind, body, and breath. So today we're going to cover a little bit of a meditation, which we do in our sessions, as well as some body movement, and then some tips on breath work, because breathing is very important. So I wanted to start off with a quiz, and I have a little prize here. You can't really see if you can see it. It's an acupressure tool. So in the chat, if you can type, the first person to type the correct answer will win the prize. In what country did meditation start? So I'm going to take a look at the chart. All right, I'm sure everyone's got their answers in. So it looks like our friend Mary, it was correct. It is India. Some people think it's China, Japan, all around the same time, but the Vedas of India is where mindfulness and meditation started. Next question. Our mind can process how many pieces of information every second? Feel free to type it in. It's a quick quiz. We'll see who's the closest. It's a lot. It's not 1,000, but it's more than 50. It's 126. So if you think about that, our mind is an organ, right? Just like our hearts, our lungs, and it's processing a lot of information that's coming at us, especially now working from home and being distracted and having a lot to handle at once with the multitasking. So it is important that you give yourself a break. whether that's just 2 minutes of meditation, it will go a long way for your mental health and your productivity. What is the most popular meditation app? What are your guesses? Very good. All great guesses. Yes, it is Calm. It goes between Calm, Breathe, Headspace. They're all the top apps. They're fantastic. I personally like the Breathe app. It's a relatively new app where you can actually plug in your emotional state as well. And it gives you, uses an algorithm to give you specific meditations. And they're short. They're 2 to 5 minutes that you can use for the way you're feeling. So I think that's pretty cool. What is the goal of meditation? This is more of a personal goal, but type in why, why do we meditate? Why do you meditate? Peace, center, clearing your mind, relieving stress, children are running around. Totally get that. Creativity, awesome answer. Ease anxiety. So as you can see, there's 20 different answers right here. So it really is personal. Meditation is a practice, which is exactly that. It's a practice. There's no perfection to it. You don't have to clear your mind. It's more about getting present to the moment and being aware, right? The whole goal is building awareness and just seeing the thought and letting it go. So what we're going to do today in terms of meditation is we're actually going to use the science behind the beach. And we're lucky enough to live here, well, when this is wind and sea behind me, in San Diego, where we can experience the sights and sounds and smells of the beach, which is scientifically proven to calm the nervous system, which is really cool. So what I'm going to do is just 2 minutes. I'm going to be playing some ocean waves so that we can all feel like we're back on the beaches again. And we can walk on them, but now you can actually sit and relax. And I'm going to guide you through a meditation. So I ask that you just sit in a very comfortable seat with your feet flat on the floor. So this is one option for meditation. Obviously, there's many. You can do guided, you can do walking, you can do a body scan. But we work with a doctor here in San Diego. Her name is Dr. Heidi Hanna. And she does a session with us called Beach Brain. And it's exactly this. And we do bring in essential oils and other sounds as well. And it's a beautiful mindful session that we run with different companies. So let's get started here. Could you play the sound on this one, Carrie? You should be able to click on that video. Can we hear it? No. Okay, well, technical difficulties. We'll just continue on with the meditation. So I ask that everyone get their feet on the floor and close your eyes. We're going to take in a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Now continue breathing, and as you're breathing, just imagine that your breath is a wave. You feel it rolling in through your nose and up through your head, and then down your spine. And again, breathing in like a wave and out through your mouth. Now feel your feet and your legs on the floor. Out in the distance in front of you, you see your favorite ocean. You feel the sand around you with your hands, and you hear the birds and the breeze in the distance. You feel the sun radiating on your skin, and you allow a smile to come across your face. The warmth of the sun radiates into your heart. You can hear the birds chirping, and you realize you're home. You allow the love in your heart to expand, and you can feel it in your fingertips, in your wrists, in your arms, up into your chest, down into your stomach, into your legs, your feet, and your toes. You hear the waves crashing. And you continue to breathe and smile and feel the love in your heart and the love and peace all around you. Now just sit still in the peace, in gratitude for all that you have and all that's in front of you. Now take another deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And open your eyes. Now, hopefully that helped ground you a little bit here. And I apologize, the beach sounds are beautiful, but I guess we had some technical difficulties with the video. But it's just simple. It's just 2 minutes. And there are a lot of great apps, as we talked about, that will guide you and can help you switch it up every day to keep things interesting and exciting. Next slide. So now we're going to do a little bit of movement to get the blood flow going. So if you can stand up, I'm going to walk you through these 7 exercises, just so you can see me here. All right, so Qigong is an Asian art form, and it started thousands of years ago. Tai Chi is part of this, and it's really about connecting the mind, the body, and the breath, and life energy or Qi that goes through the body. And so it kind of gets your blood moving and gets your muscles and body moving. It's very simple to do in small spaces, and it's great to do in the morning right when you wake up. So the first movement is very simple. You're going to keep your arms by your side, and you're going to swing them front to back. And the goal here is to hit your hips on either side. We're going across body. And the thought is that you're connecting the opposite sides of your brain by moving your body across those meridians. You're going to do this about 20 times. And now we're going to get the legs into it. So we're going to take our left hand and slap our right knee, and our right hand and slap our left knee. And we're going to go again, cross body, getting the blood moving, your body moving, your legs up, and the cross body movement connecting each side of the brain. We're going to start from the head next on number 3, and we're going to do some body tapping, getting that circulation going in the brain. I know it looks a little silly, but it's been done for thousands of years, and there's a lot of science behind it. So starting in the head, moving down to your shoulders, you're going to cover your whole body. Arms, down to your ribs, hips, legs. Make sure you get the front and the back. And you're just tapping with all fingers, nice and hard. Going down to your feet, making sure the blood's flowing down to your feet, and then back up, all the way up towards your heart. Your life center. And back to your head and back. Now you're going to take a deep breath up, a mountain stretch up. And we're going to stretch to one side. We're going to stretch to the right. And the goal here is to lift the ribs and get the lungs open and ready to breathe. I don't know about you, but I find a lot of times during the day when I'm hunched over, I'm not taking deep breaths. So this is really about opening and expanding your ribs and lungs. And now we're going to take a cactus stretch back. Deep breath in. Again, get that all stretched out. We're always hunched over our computers. So now we need to keep that open and stretched back. Make sure you do this a few times a day. And then a neck stretch on both sides. Again, we're always looking forward. Now we have that tech neck, and we don't want that. So we're going to continue to do those stretches. Generally, do those stretches a few times a day. In terms of your office setup, next slide. We have some tips. We'll share this out with you, but these are some stretches that you can do, and you can share these with your team. They're about 10 to 20 seconds each. You want to do these pretty much every hour, once an hour. Really, the motto is 20 minutes of sitting, 20 minutes of standing, and 20 minutes of moving for the hour. So you're not always going to be sitting, you're not always going to be standing, but you're going to be having a mix. And these are great for carpal tunnel, any sort of tension. In terms of ergonomics, you really want to be set up at 90-degree angles. We are doing free ergonomic assessments if anyone is interested, just to make sure that people are set up in the right way at their home, not in their bed or at their couch. It's really important to, stack some books and get your computer set up at eye level and your elbows at 90 degrees. And just because, you're going to be working there for hours and you want your body in the right position. Okay, next slide. And our last exercise here is about breathing. So the breath is really important in health, and it's really where it all starts. And the best part is that breathing is free. I think we all maybe take this for granted. I know I do. I realize at certain points, maybe if I'm on a conference call, that I hold my breath. And so the breath is really a way to reconnect your mind to your body. And in just 15 minutes, there's science behind this that you can rewire your central nervous system by doing deep breathing. So it gets you out of your comfort zone a little bit, but it's another way to meditate. If you're not really into guided meditations, just try breathing and focusing on your breath. We're going to do 2 today that I use. And again, there's many different types of breathing techniques and a lot around yoga, if you practice yoga with pranayama breathing. But these are simple ones you can do at your desk, at the kitchen table, in your car, before a meeting. They're very quick. And if you can do them a few times a day, you'll notice a sense of calm after you do them. So the first is box breathing. And it's called just that because you're doing sets of 5. So you're going to blow all the air out for 5, hold it at the bottom of the breath for 5, and then inhale for a count of 5, hold it at the top so that you're nice and full, and then again, back out at the bottom. So, in your brain, you can kind of form a box. So we're going to try that, and then we'll do a series of nostril breathing. So I'm just going to count you through it. So if you want to, again, get comfortable on your seat, back is nice and straight so you have your diaphragm to use and your feet on the floor. And you're going to blow out all of the air that's in your lungs. Hold at the bottom. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a deep breath in. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold at the top. 3, 2, 1. Blow it out through your mouth. 3, 2, 1. Hold at the bottom. 3, 2, 1. Breathe it in. 3, 2, 1. Hold at the top. 3, 2, 1. Breathe it out. 3, 2, 1. Hold at the bottom. 3, 2, 1. Breathe it in. 3, 2, 1. Hold it at the top. 3, 2, 1. Breathe it out. 3, 2, 1. So that was about 25 seconds. And hopefully you feel calmer. But again, very simple tip. Nostril breathing, you're going to hold your fingers, and it's kind of hard to show, but you're going to have your middle finger down, and you're really just going to be pushing from different sides here to breathe in one nostril and then out and then in and then out. In. So you're kind of going back and forth, and the goal there again is to rewire the brain. So you're using different sides of the brain, and it calms your nervous system down. So that's another one you can mix in there before or after a meditation. Next slide. So that's it. Hopefully you enjoyed some of these quick tips today. We're here to help you. My email is there, and every Friday we send out an e-blast with free tips and tricks, and we post it in our blog. So if you wanted to sign up for that, feel free. Again, it is free, but we are here and we are here to help. So I hope you all enjoyed that today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Angela. I feel calm and relaxed already. Really much appreciated. So at this point, I would like to introduce to you our keynote speaker, Megan Powers. Megan Powers has wide and deep experience in the meetings and events industry. She's worked in marketing for tech companies, in a venue, as a planner, and in audio-visual production sales before starting her own company. All of this experience gives her a unique lens through which she sees and approaches events. Her company, Powers of Marketing, is a boutique strategic marketing communication agency, providing strategy consultation, content, and execution to organizations seeking to strategically market themselves through content and events. Megan is passionate about being face-to-face for events and about the opportunities digital spaces give us to interact, learn, and grow revenue. So please help me welcome Megan Powers.
Hello, hello. I am so excited for the opportunity to talk with you all today. I know there's a few people who registered who had been in my EdCon session, and so I want to let you know this will be somewhat similar, but I have tried to mix it up and add some new information, and we're going to be talking specifically to online events in addition to in-person events. So here I go. Okay. I'm hoping everyone can see my screen. Let me know in the chat if there's an issue with it. So I am, like I said, super excited. Like there's more than 70 of you on this call right now. So we will have time for questions at the end. So make sure to put your questions in the chat, and we will get to those. And then of course I'll have my contact information at the end. So if you don't get your question answered, I'll be sure to follow up with you. So I just wanted to quickly say, now more than ever, this has all been really hard, but really it's an opportunity in the digital space to be more creative, consistent, and captivating. We want to be face-to-face, but digital already was a supplement, and now even more. There's an opportunity there for us to really use it, and hopefully you'll take some things away today. So Rachel introduced me, but I just want to say quickly that at my core, I'm a writer. I'm a communicator and strategist. I'm an event professional. I am VP Communication for this chapter. I have been for the last 2 years, and I'm wrapping up my term here shortly. And it's been a wonderful experience to work with this chapter, and I am glad to have this opportunity. I am also a podcaster. I'll talk a little bit more about, okay, that's why I was asking. Now, we'll go back. All that. Let's see. How about now? Okay. All right, so I'll go back. Oh, fun times. Okay, cool. So I see Jamie. I got a thumbs up from Jamie, so I think we're good now. All right. Go forward. You have to see these pictures. So in addition to being all these other things, I like to jump off and out of things. So the most ridiculous picture of me skydiving and bungee jumping in New Zealand. And then I am still sad about the Super Bowl. I am a 49ers season ticket holder, so that was kind of rough. Okay, so what we're going to cover. Communication plans, which obviously includes social media strategy, pre-event marketing, on-site marketing, which there's a pun there. We'll talk about that. And then afterwards, marketing your event after it's over is imperative, and it's something that actually gets forgotten a lot. So we'll talk about that. All right, communication. So you want to get your marketing team and your event team on the same page. I know this sounds obvious, but I hear this a lot, especially in the association space, that sometimes they are like working in silos and not really communicating the way that they should. So I would create your plan for your events with your marketing team for your organization. It should be done together. You're going to want to create your hashtag first, and this sounds silly, but really, and I'll talk about the art of hashtagging quite a bit today. The hashtag, you want to make sure that it's not being used by anyone else, because really you could be super off brand if you're not careful. So, and I'm going to give you some tools for how to look that up and all that good stuff. So you're going to want to determine which platforms you're going to utilize. You might just use Facebook. You might just use Facebook and Instagram. You might use LinkedIn. And I'm going to step through each of those platforms and give you some tips and tricks within each of them. And decide who's going to do what. So who on the team is going to handle your posting, who's going to handle your engagement. You have to moderate that community. All of your social media, everything that gets posted should have a like, a comment, some sort of engagement with it. They took the time to engage with your content, so you want to make sure that you give back in that way. So I'd also make sure your plan rolls things out in phases. And this has not everything to do with social, it has everything to do with your marketing plan as a whole. But you want to, put out a save the date to make sure that people block it out on their calendar, even if it's an online event. Especially right now, there's so much content happening right now via video. So you want to make sure that the people that you want there know and have that time blocked out on their calendar. We think we all have all the time in the world, but I think we all know we're experiencing some Zoom fatigue, right? So you want to make sure that whether it's in person or online, that you make sure that you get that date known as soon as you know it. And include calls to action. So create a sense of urgency. Do that with your pricing. We'll talk a bit more about that. Speaker promos. So I would make it part of the contract with your speakers, whether it's online or in person, that they help you promote the event. Now, it doesn't have to be like extravagant. You don't have to have tons of provisions in there, but if you make graphics with their photo on them and you make it easy for them to share, have a media kit of sorts, then you will get a lot more help. And then that also should help with your registration. So not only is it promoting, you have these great speakers and they're hopefully wanting to because they're promoting themselves, but also it should hopefully drive reg. All right, so things to consider when you're building out your strategy. You want to determine your objectives. So start with the end in mind, right? Like, what do you want to accomplish? Do you want to have 20 people at your online seminar, or do you want to have 500 people when we're able, in person at the hotel or, a convention center or whatnot? So in this, depending on the kind of organization, I'm writing this to the masses, right? Figure out your target demographics. It might just be your members. It might be members and prospects. It might be customers and, who knows? So but figure that out. What's your avatar? And that's what you'll hear marketers use that term, which is basically who is that person? Paint a picture of what that person is, and then drive all of your marketing and everything that you're doing towards that. So, and also the thing about this online situation is that it can expand your reach. I mean, we might not have everyone who's on right now might not be a member, but maybe based on their experiences with our organization, maybe they could become a member. I have Tom Anderson, which a lot of you know is a former past president of this chapter. He had to swiftly move his 3,000 or 4,000 person event online, and they ended up with 10,000 registrants from all over the world. So people who normally wouldn't have been able to travel for it were able to attend. Now, as we're seeing today, you're going to get some drop off, especially if it's complimentary. If somebody didn't have to pay to be there, then you're likely to have more drop off, but it's still a much higher percentage, and you're casting a wider net for potential for future. I think the idea here is everything's not going to always be complimentary. We're going to have to eventually start charging for things. And obviously if you're in an association or an organization, you're going to need to charge. But if you're giving to get in terms of when it's complimentary, then then you might not be as successful. So be open and know that it could pay dividends for you down the line. Make sure that you're using branding guidelines, that of your website, and your overall brand strategy should carry through in your event, including tone of voice. is your organization kind of fun and lighthearted? And so that should carry through. And, or are you, a financial institution, everything's super buttoned up, just have those things figured out up front. And then figure out how much time you're going to have to spend, or how much time the team is going to have to spend leading up to the event to market it. And then there's potential maybe that you could recruit volunteers to widen the net. So it just kind of depends. You could, utilize the HTM students at San Diego State or whatnot. So just keep that in mind. All right, I'm going to make sure chat. Okay, great. All right, so objectives, they're going to feed into your overall plan. You want to create a roadmap for managing it over time. So as I said in the beginning, it's not just about marketing the event to get people there. It's before, it's during, and it's after. So if you have this roadmap, it helps you figure out who's doing what, enables you to define what tactics you're going to use or not use. Maybe you will use video, and we'll talk about how hot video is. But maybe you don't have the bandwidth for that, and that's okay. So, but I have some ideas for you if that's something that you think is the case for your organization. And then it defines what metrics you're going to use to measure success. Like, what's going to make it? Is it that you got 20 people to attend? Awesome. Whatever it is that you decide is the thing. So, and then understand that things change. Platforms change. I was literally 11th hour changing this presentation because there's been so many updates. So I have some places that you can go for keeping up to date on social media if that's your jam, or for your team. So plan, do, check, and then act or adjust is PDCA. A guy named Neil Schaefer, who's a pro. He wrote a book called Maximizing Your Social, and that's one of the things that's in there. And it's also worth looking at your competition. Do you have conferences or summits that you're competing against? Do you want to look at what they're doing to help feed your own objectives and plan? Okay, so which platforms to use? Now, this falls under, and I think I'm going to say this again, meet them where they are. Meet the people who you want to show up. Go and market where they are. If they're not on Facebook, don't market to Facebook and hoping that you'll get them there, because that's just not going to work. So the consistency is key. So make sure you have a proper cadence, and that you're in, if you go 2 weeks without posting, if you have an event coming up, then your people are going to wonder what's going on. So in Facebook groups, we're going to talk some more about that, that's a really huge opportunity for all of us. Okay, so Social Media Examiner came out with a 5,200 person survey results this past week, and 97% of marketers still feel that Facebook is the #1 social media platform to market on. So that is huge. And almost every other platform has gone down a little bit, with the exception of Instagram, which has gone up over the past couple of years. It's kind of cyclical, right? But anyway, so everyone's already on Facebook. So how can you leverage that? Look at that. Twitter it's actually going down in use, but Twitter is uniquely good for events based on its quick pace and the hashtag strategy that goes with Twitter. So, and we'll talk about that specifically. It's a really easy and fast resource source to drive traffic also to your website. So LinkedIn has had a resurgence. It really is a platform that's been around forever. I mean, I've been on it since 2006, but it really has renewed an increasing interest, and they're adding new features, and we'll talk about that. Instagram, we know, is the land of pretty pictures, and video now as well, and we'll talk about that. So just figure out, you don't have to be everywhere, but do it well and be consistent. Okay, video is hot, and this has been the new thing for the last 3 years, and it's not going away anytime soon. I found this stat to be staggering. By 2022, online videos will make up more than 82% of all consumer internet traffic. I mean, that's huge. That's 15 times higher than it was, by that time 5 years earlier. And I include a link, you'll get this presentation if you'd like it, and all the links are hot in here so you can access. There's an article about how to create high quality videos that I linked there. So ideas are promoting and holding an online event. It doesn't have to be your annual convention that you do online. You can do smaller things like this, or within your Facebook group, you can go live to a Facebook group. But it's a way to promote maybe the bigger event. Have your speakers create promo videos. This is something that's super easy, can be done on a phone. Doesn't have to have huge, production quality. So keep that in mind. Speakers, if they're willing to help you out, that'll be gold, because then people will be able to get an idea too for how the speaker is going to be when they're in front of your participants. And I'm seeing this remote fam trips. Some destinations are getting really creative and showing their destination via video, because we can't fly right now. So there's huge upside there. And then showing behind the scenes. People love see behind the scenes of your team at work, your destination, your hotel, the kitchen, anything along those lines. All right, so pre-event marketing. To get them there, as I mentioned, create a sense of urgency, provide early registration pricing. That's Events 101. That's something I probably don't need to tell you guys, obviously, but one thing I will say that I don't think a lot of event organizers are doing is starting on site for the following year. If you have your reg up for the following event while an event is going on, whether it's in person or online, and you give a really decent discount, guess what? You get money, you get cash flow from that can help you throughout the year. But also, you create this, if you get them when they're excited. And so if you can get them when they're excited, they're more likely to buy. I know I personally have done this the last 2 years for 3 different conferences that offered a really good deal. I mean, standing in a ballroom on my phone, done, purchase, no question. So, and then give gradual price increases, and that'll vary. I know, we all do it. My personal feeling is, if it's a large event, don't discount any more than a month out or within a month, and make sure it's clear. So you get people it's that scarcity thing, get people to buy in. You're going to want to promote your speakers and your entertainment, use video and storytelling to pique interest. I mean, videos tell stories, and if you do it well, that could really help drive your registration. Obviously, you want to be sharing the uniqueness of your event, what sets you apart, and you want to build community around the event. And I'm going to give you a couple ideas for how you can do that, because that's a thing too about us being online, is now we have this community that stretches out much further than before. And you potentially have the chance to maybe even engage with or talk to more people than you might have if you're doing some things that I've seen some organizations do over the past couple months. And then use the appropriate approach by platform. Like I said, meet them where they are. All right, you want to make sure you have a positive brand view. Make sure that the brand view for your events is in line with the company's brand view. So this example here is from Social Media Marketing World. Their whole thing is in the jungle. And so this is in line with, in terms of color scheme and their logo on there, but it's got the vibe of the host city. So they are, very focused on San Diego branding in their event, which is separate from the jungle, but it totally works. So be thinking about that. Again, making sure that you're making the communication plan with your marketing team, making sure that your company marketing, event marketing are complementary. Like I said, it can be unique, but just still make sure that the branding and the color schemes are complementary. Use themes that are creative, on brand, and like I said, connected to the host city when you can, or to whatever the theme of the event is if you're doing it online. Right, in this virtual city that we're all in. All right, so the art of hashtagging, and I truly think that it is an art. Really, it's about discoverability. And so what I would like to do, if you all don't mind, I want everyone to take a selfie with the screen behind them. And if you will, now or when I'm done, post it to your platform of choice using the hashtag MPISD strong hashtag to show the world that we're gathered and that we're walking the walk. I would appreciate if you did that. I think that'd be fun. This is our MPISD strong is you know, kind of our call to show that we're all in this together. All right, so use them strategically. Research whether your potential hashtags have been used. Consider not including the year in your tag. In fact, I think it's even more important now, because if we're doing it right, we're creating this online community that hopefully will be like this living organism throughout the year. You're not just gonna set it and forget it. As event organizers, I know we do tend to, you have the event and then you're on to the next. Like, you don't have time to worry about that past event other than closing out your, you know, your invoices. But really, it should be part of your plan to keep that conversation going. And if you don't have the year in it, then you don't have to restart every time. So something to keep in mind. Some people like having the year on it. I personally think you should consider having something unique enough that you don't have to have the year that is related to your conference, not just to your company. All right. And then use it on everything. Print it on everything for on-site. Your hashtag should be everywhere. So it's not even a question what it is. Make sure it's on all your marketing and all your print and all your digital marketing. And encourage your attendees to use it. Include it in your social bios. You can have a hashtag in your social bio and Twitter. And if somebody searches on that hashtag, then they'll find you as a person, not just the tweets, which is pretty cool. So when I have events coming up that I'm going to or speaking at, I do that. All right, so, and then include it in your registration confirmation. There's another place, any place you have to show it, do it. All right, by platform. So here's how hashtags work on the different platforms. Some people are not quite sure, so I just want to lay it out. On Facebook, you can search by hashtag there. It's not done as widely. I do see it more for events than I do for anything else, but they do work in Facebook. Twitter, it's important there to be found by anyone who's not already following you, but don't use it more than 3. 2 to 3 is good. It just gets a little to feel a little spammy after that point. And then LinkedIn, as more and more hashtags are being used on LinkedIn, they're encouraging it, and they're searchable, so definitely do that. And then on Instagram, you have to. It's crucial to be found. Otherwise, you're just going to be posting to the people who you're connected to. So, and we'll dig into that as well. All right, so here's some resources. I'm not going to go into the detail of each of them, but these are places where you can go to find out what's trending locally, what's trending anywhere really in the world, and what hashtags have been used. There's trend graphs and anything, stats on post views and stuff, which is very, very cool. All right, so just going to show a couple of examples. On the hashtagify.me site, I put in hashtag event profs, and this is what came up. And so you see trending and week trend, those are kind of down, but over 63% is high for popularity. I personally think anything above 50% is pretty good. But what's cool too is that it also shows you related hashtags, like what people who are using the event profs hashtag, what other hashtags they're using at the same time. And then who is showing the most influence. So Eventbrite, Events Magazine, you see that. So, and then right tag, I'm starting to like more and more. And some of these, just as a heads up, are free. Some are free at first, and then they want to charge you. Some are like you get just a portion of it for free. So you just have to decide like what means the most to you. So right tag, I did a search on right tag on event profs, and I thought this was really interesting because event profs is the gold standard in our industry. And I've always said, use it if you want to be found. So, but if you look at this, look at just the word hashtag event. Now, I will say probably the event profs is more valuable in terms of the people that you want to be talking to, because I think some people just hashtag like every word at every opportunity. So somebody who's not even in the industry might have just, been using that event hashtag. But it's something to consider. And as we get into Instagram, keep that in mind. And then meeting profs, not as widely used. But anyway, I thought that was really interesting. All right, so breakdown by platform. And I didn't say this in the beginning, but this is like a really short period of time to cover a lot. So I'm doing the best I can to cover as much as I can, and hopefully I won't run out of time. But again, please hit me up. Okay, so Twitter. As I said, for events, huge. Use your event hashtag on every post. Encourage your registrants to use it, your speakers. Create Twitter lists. This is something that isn't talked about much anymore, and you all might not even know about it. So basically, you can add any person to a list, or you could start a sports list, health and wellness. This is one I created years ago, meeting and event, expo, people and companies. Now, the cool thing about this is when I add anyone to this, they get a notification. So you could also do, smart event profs, or event profs I admire, or, something like that, which also then strokes the ego kind of the person that you're including. But especially if they're not already following you, it puts you on their radar. So this would be really big, potentially, depending on, again, where your attendees are, for getting other accounts to follow you. So what I did was I looked at my lists, that arrow, it shows the meetings, events. So I click that, and then this pop-up, it shows industry, it shows how many, I've 46 people in there and 3 subscribers. So you can lock it if you want. So if you don't want people to subscribe, but you can also keep it open and people can subscribe to your lists as well, which I think is pretty cool. You'll see it's been around a while. I think there's a IMX14 on there. I don't actually look at my lists as often as I should, but this is definitely a feature that I am going to try to use more. So again, the idea is to be found, to then engage with your audience and keep them interested. Use branded images for your event. Make sure you're sharing the value. All right. Twitter is the opportunity for real-time engagement and feedback. I have a couple of examples here that just go to show that you are not tied to just interacting with people within the confines of, or within the days of your event. So this Pi Colorado image, I was asked very late, like 6 days before the event, to manage their Twitter during the event. And I was remote, and like nobody knew that I wasn't in the room, which was pretty cool. I think if you get to know your crowd and you engage with them in authentic ways, then that can happen. So I just wanted to show this was super cute. It's proof positive that no one's too young to become a fan. Got really high engagement. I mean, we only had like 250 people who were in attendance at this event. So there were a lot of people at home who were also then engaging and hopefully then wanting to go next year. Okay, so social media marketing world, I already showed that other image earlier. So they are an organization that does use the year on their hashtags. So it is what it is. But I just wanted to show that, you can't see the date on this, but this was 2 months later, 2.5 months later after the event. It was the beginning of March. I think it was one of the last live, like larger meetings to happen in San Diego at the beginning of March. So anyway, just showing you that you can get engagement, 12 likes, 6 retweets, long after the event is over. So understand that your social team doesn't have to be on site. You can schedule tweets for specific sessions and sponsor shout outs. I want you guys to look at Twitter and see, and search on the MPISD strong hashtag and see if I was off by like 8 minutes, I think, I scheduled a tweet to go out during this. And that's in part to show that you can also do that. So you don't have to, everything doesn't have to be live tweeting. You can actually schedule things. And I had the really savvy social media speakers do that when they're on stage. And so you're, of course, sitting in the audience going, hey, wait a minute, how did she do that? it takes a second. You're like, oh, either she's got someone on her team or she scheduled it. But it's smart because it's always relates to what she's saying at the appropriate time. So I tried. I just wasn't sure exactly what time it was that I was going to bring that up. All right, so keep the conversation going and keep the engagement going. Facebook. All right, groups are a huge opportunity. There's a speaker who talks about groups, and she likens this to like your front yard versus your backyard. So your front yard is your page. It's your business page. Backyard's the group. That's where the party's happening. That's where all the engagement's happening. You're not going to be probably as open with people and engaging with people on your front lawn with a crowd as you would be maybe in your backyard. So I like that. Being the destination, so you can create pop-up groups for your events, whether they're online or offline. Pop-up groups that are tied exactly to the event are awesome. There are within there are units that you can create. So say your attendees or your participants have different like verticals or different things that they're working within, and you can create different units within there, and then they can engage with each other within there. Now, also, just last week, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but Facebook launched rooms. So they are trying to compete with Zoom. So right now in Facebook, any one of you can create a room and create an experience like this with your friends. Now, they also rolled it out to groups. So you could have like networking events, and you could split them off based on what they're interested in, or it could just be totally random. You could do speed networking. I attended an event called Atomicon last month, and they did the switch from in person to totally online, and they added all this fringe event throughout the month, or fringe sessions throughout the month that were in addition to that one whole day. And they had like online pub crawls. And one of the coolest things was it was a pub crawl there in the UK. And then the moderator randomly split us off in twos into rooms and into breakout rooms. And then we did like a speed networking session. It was super cool. So you could also do that within your groups. And then make sure that you're engaging with them. Make sure you have someone who's facilitating conversation. Sometimes you will have members who will spark things up, but sometimes you're going to need to help them along. So it's kind of like not giving them something to drink when they show up to your backyard party. It's kind of along those lines. So, and encourage your speakers to participate and engage. That'll be huge too for your participants to be able to like ask someone they admire within that group, advice or whatnot. All right, so, and then continue to use your business page to promote the event, but don't just promote, mix it up with topics that are unrelated to your event in the industry. Okay, Instagram, still hot, more than 1 billion monthly, active monthly users. Like I said, it's the land of pretty pictures and video. Here's where you're going to use hashtags like crazy, including the event hashtag. Use industry standard hashtags and others. Also, I have on the next slide kind of a formula that my friend Jen Herman has put together, which I think will be good for you to try out. The key to all of this is testing. No one thing is going to work for any one person. So you want to make sure that you test and see what works. So how many hashtags should you use? That's always the question that gets asked. When I presented at EdCon, at the time, there was research that showed that posts with 8 hashtags got a lot less engagement than posts with 30 hashtags. Well, now things have kind of switched a little bit. So I put a link in here to the Agora Pulse Lab. They have a guy who it's just his job to research how ads work, what works, through all the platforms. So it's a really good resource for you to go to see like the latest on what you should do. So the word right now is 15 to 20 hashtags is a good number, and you don't need to put them in a comment. You can put them in the first in the caption, and keep in mind that the first 2 or 3 lines display in terms of preview before you have to click see more. So don't worry about being spammy with those hashtags, but also make sure that those 2 lines are snappy. You know, make sure that you're writing in a way that's going to get attention. And the thing too about putting it in the caption versus in the first comment is that even if it saves you seconds, it means that more people are going to see your post. So I have here a screen capture of, I did a search on the Eventprofs hashtag. 1.6 million posts have been put on Instagram using that hashtag. And you could click the different tabs for the top ones and meaning the ones that have gotten the most engagement, and then recent. So what I like to do is when I do a search on a hashtag to engage with the community, I'll go into the most recent and I'll start liking, you know, like the first 10 or 15 that I see that I think are good. Obviously, I'm not just going to click, but, and then that shows them like you're probably still online because they just posted it. And then they might look at your profile, so then you might get following. So if you're an event organizer or, you know, doing this for your company, that's a good tip to kind of help expand your following. And all right, so also using stories. Stories are getting actually I don't have a stat for it, but a lot more activity than the feed is. You might notice that we post less to the feed on MPI. I personally am posting less to the feed. I'm posting to stories. And for those of you who don't know, stories they're only up for 24 hours. However, you can create highlights in your profile. And so then that is where you can like post all the pictures from an event. If you look at the MPI Instagram, you'll see there's an EdCon highlight and there's different, you know, there's a CMP highlight. And so that's highlights of the story posts that we've posted. You're not gonna put everything you've archived in the highlights, but it's a good thing that you can keep going, keep adding to. All right, and the idea is to create FOMO, right? We want to have people want to be where we are, even if it's online. All right, so, and then be sure to repost attendee engagement. If someone has tagged you in their story, share it, reshare it to your page. You might not want to do it right away because then it's like, you know, you might have too many things close together that are alike, but make sure that you're giving the love. Oops. Oh, sorry about that. All right. Okay, so here's the formula that Jen Herman thinks is good right now. All right, for hashtagging. 4 to 5 popular hashtags. Those are ones that maybe, you know, up to millions of posts. You know, that you're going to cast a wider net, but it's going to be harder to be seen. If there's 1 million people using that, you know, looking at that hashtag, then it's going to bump down. That's why I said to look at the most recent too. 5 to 6 moderately popular hashtag. Maybe there's just, you know, a couple 100,000 who have used it. And then some niche specific hashtags, event profs, for example, that would be one. Branded hashtags. And then these are hashtags that have to do with your company, with your event, with things that you use. The thing about hashtagging is, you know, we want to be cute, and you'll see people post like hashtags, like every word is hashtagged, and that does absolutely zero good. So just keep in mind that if you're going to use a branded hashtag, it's something that you continue to use over time. And then you're essentially curating a list for your users, for your company, of your brand. I tend to make up hashtags because I think they're so funny and then they're totally used by someone else. So, but I did one I created for my Bloody Mary posting. It's all about the snack. And so if you look at that hashtag, every post in there was done by me for myself or for a company that I was working with the exception of one. And it was a kid with the snack at halftime of his soccer game, and his mom posted it's about the snack, which I thought was funny. So anyway, just to say, don't just make up hashtags on random if you're not going to continue using them. Okay, so LinkedIn, growing in popularity, like I said, they have brought back events now. Their events are there, but live video is still rolling. So I wanted to show you, it's kind of hard to find, like a lot of things on LinkedIn. I know that a lot of things are hard to find. So I wanted to show you, I screen grabbed. This is on the right-hand side, that image is my homepage. If you go scroll down to the left, you'll see it says events. Click that plus button, and then this other thing pops up, and that's where you enter, your graphics, the name of the session. If you're going to do it online, live, or streaming through another tool, then that's where you would put that link, or you put the actual address, the physical address of the hotel or the convention center or whatnot. So like I said, there are certain people who don't have live capability in LinkedIn yet. Like there's a very slow roll. So I don't have it yet, but eventually, hopefully everyone will have it. And then you could also, if you want to, live stream an event inside of your LinkedIn company page or personal page. Goldie Chan is a rock star. Michaela Alexis is another person who I can recommend. I didn't put on here, but those are two people that rock it on LinkedIn, and they're speakers as well, and they're great resources. Okay, so on-site, the on-site team is now, it has a double meaning, right? Like on-site, on the site, and on-site if you're in person. All right, so if somebody wants to pop in that comment how much time I have, because I kind of lost track of when we started. I think I'm close, actually. I think I'm gonna have to power through. All right, so basically, don't forget on-site management, schedule shifts of who's responding to what and when, have them assigned by platform. Make sure you're using a listening tool. I use Agora Pulse, and there is a link to that at the end. I know it's a mouthful, the name of it's hard to say and hear, but there's tools like that, and Hootsuite and Buffer are also other ones. Have a plan of how to respond to negative posts. This is key. I had experienced this on site where we were scrambling to respond to something that the crowd was not happy with the CEO said. So just kind of be ready for all of that, knowing that your online space is now your customer service desk, and you're getting real-time feedback. You are trying to create FOMO while on site, having everyone, you can have contests for, the most tweets. People love to live tweet speakers. I don't know if anyone's doing that now. That would be super cool. But here's some screenshots of, okay, there was an event that happened last week, Evolve Virtual, and that was by our industry, for our industry. And so these are a couple people that posted while it was going on from their office, their home office. And then today, Brian Fanzo posted this, and what he did, he's the best. He's the best. If you want him to speak at your event, he can talk about anything. After he was done speaking at this Untethered event today, he got on and posted a video, and he talked about all the tools he used. He's using 360. He's doing graphic overlays onto his live video. It's crazy. So he's amazing. All right, crisis communication plan. And this is not related to what we're going through right now with COVID, although also you should have a plan for when something like this happens, but also for on-site. Thanks, Carrie. For on-site, having that plan, because anything can happen. And guess what? Like, if you don't, then misinformation is going to happen. People are going to, not be in the know. So really plan for different kind of crises, what you're going to post, how you're going to post it, who's going to post it. This is another good reason to have somebody who's not on site helping you with your social, because if something happens, you could get a text to them maybe, and then they could carry the ball on whatever needs to happen. And if people are home worrying about their people, they're going to go to your social media. And if you're not upfront, if you wait 24 hours to respond, it's not going to bode well for your event, for anyone, for even for the safety of people. So make sure you have all the legal issues worked out upfront, agreed upon verbiage from your legal team about what you can and can't say, and have that exact wording already. And just remember that it's an insurance policy. Real quick, messenger marketing. So you've seen some texts from us, more than likely, if you've attended events. Craig's company, Close the Gap, did these for us during EdCon and for some other professional development events. And it's opt-in, so you're not just sending it to send it. But especially when you're on site, people are not as much in their email. So text messages are like super hot, good way to try to get the word out to people, especially if you've had a schedule change or there's anything that your participants need to know. So it's just another option. It's convenient, quick and easy info. And then there's a couple other companies, 42 Chat, used to be called Sciencio, and ManyChat, that are also providing chatbot tools that are not intended to completely replace a person, but are a great way to start. You know, if somebody's got questions about where is lunch being served today, or you know, whatever it is when you're on site, those are kinds of tools that can help you with that. All right, real quick. I talked a lot about FOMO already. You want to continue the conversation. The after, in my estimation, is no longer the end. Like when we walk away today, you may have chatted with some people directly in the chat that you may end up collaborating with, or that you decide to have a drink with once we're all able to do that again. So you want to keep the conversation going and I mean, like, I'll tell you, that Untethered event, I saw everyone posting online today and I was like, oh man, I wish I was attending that, you know, and there's 2 more days of it. So there's still the potential there. But the reason is because I saw all these industry people that I admire posting about it. So FOMO, like at its truest form. All right, so share photos, have a professional photographer. Don't just rely on your team's camera phones. Definitely, and then continue to post them throughout the year using the hashtag and engaging with people. Ask them questions. Post a picture of something and say, what was your number 1 takeaway of this? Or, you know, whatever it is. Building community. Really, that's what this is all about. We're a community right now. We're a community in San Diego, but also we're part of this larger events community, and within whatever industry your organization might be within, then there's also communities there as well. So, and then it gets people excited if you highlight them, screenshot and share their posts when they've quoted your speakers. People are crazy about live tweeting. And so if you can capture that and reshare it, then it'll make them feel warm and fuzzy, and it'll show your speaker that you're still engaged, and maybe they'll want to come back or maybe even be an attendee. All right, remember, all your social media activities should spark interest in those who aren't there. Marketing during and after your event builds interest for those who missed it. So here's some tools. I talked about video, Wave, and these are 2 different, I know it's weird, they're 2 different companies, but these are 2 different tools that make it super easy to create your own videos. Some of you might have seen videos I created for San Diego State HTM program, even for ours, like the most recent video of Alyssa, I used wave.video for that. You can add branding onto it. It gives you transitions. You can put video and then pictures and call to action at the end. It's super cool and really affordable, so I highly recommend. This presentation was done using Canva. We're using Canva a lot in our graphics for our chapter. It allows you to look nice, but also to be consistent. So you can use the same templates, and then you're just switching out colors and the name of the event, or whatever it is. And then there's a link to the Agora Pulse platform. I'm also a podcaster. I have a marketing podcast that I'm closing out season 3. It's called Making a Marketer. If you want to check that out, we talk about, there's a bunch of shows on to do with events, incentivize travel, and everything to do with marketing. And then Inside Events is one that I started hosting last June, and there were 10 episodes in. And the last 3 episodes have been really, really interesting conversations about everything that's going on right now with COVID, but also it's all not just to think about now, but all things for us to think about as we move forward. Thank you very much. Let me know if you have any questions. I know Carrie's gonna help me out and share any questions that you guys have had throughout. But again, reach out to me after. And if you want to screen capture this, so you make sure you have that info, or take a picture of it or whatever, that works. Thank you.
Megan, thank you. That was great. That was the first time I've been able to listen to this after a few times. So I'm glad I got to sit through it. We did get a couple of questions while you were presenting. The first one is, should you post the same thing on all 4 platforms or change the content, graphic, and thoughts per platform?
That is a great question. My feeling is it can be the same sentiment. It could even be the same graphic, although I would resize it. But don't post them all at the same time. I would change, like Twitter obviously has to be shorter. So Twitter is always a bit different, more succinct. But I think it's okay. You just have to like maybe tweak it a bit for the platform.
Great. Another question we have, when you were providing some of the statistics earlier, did they provide the average age demographic for the vote regarding the best social platforms for events?
Ooh, that's a great question. I will, when I share this, I'll add the link to the report. I just got it last night, and so I kind of went down the rabbit hole of like reading it and what I should include or shouldn't at the last minute. I don't have that data, unfortunately. Sorry.
Okay. I have one last question for you. You were talking about LinkedIn earlier. Somebody asked if you had to have the paid version of LinkedIn to do some of the things you were talking about.
No. And the thing that's interesting about the live is that Michaela Alexis, who I mentioned, she's actually a LinkedIn learning instructor, and she doesn't even have it on her business page. So and she's in Canada, so they're also rolling it out based on, I think they don't want really large companies to have it, they want it to be smaller. Anyway, so no, it's just like a be patient, wait and see kind of a situation.
Wonderful, thank you. I think that's all the questions you have. So you guys, you can see Megan's info down there. So please hit her up on any of her socials there, or you can email her directly. And thank you for sharing today.
Thanks, and be sure to post on social media about this.
Already did, check the hashtag.
I saw notifications coming up from my Instagram. I love it. Thanks, you guys.
Great, thank you.
Yes, please make sure that you post your selfie picture that you took. I know I took one, and then I think I had to retake it because I looked terrible. So please make sure that you post and share. Erin is also right now going to enter. Oh, she did. Please make sure that you go to the group Zoom chat and follow us on our Twitter, Facebook, and our LinkedIn pages. That is going to quickly scroll up to the top of the chat as people are all saying thank you and we love this. So again, make sure that you are scrolling through to find those links. Again, thank you, Megan, so much. It was such an informative and really, really, really awesome presentation. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I hope everyone else did. And thank you as well to Angela. What a great way to get a professional development program kicked off. Again, a reminder that June 11th is the gala, and we hope that you will all join us. We want to just see as many people come together as we can to celebrate the year that we have had. What a year it has been. And also, please take some time, if you can, to fill out that survey. You will see the email come out tomorrow. So please, everyone everyone will receive a survey tomorrow for CEU credits about this professional development program. So make sure you keep an eye out for that, but also keep an eye out for the membership survey, or look on the MPISD website so that you can tell your board of directors what you want to see in the upcoming months and this year, for that when we meet during our retreat, we can all get together and plan that accordingly. Thank you all again so much for joining us today. Hope you all stay well, stay healthy, stay sane, stay connected, and we will see you at the next MPI event.
Bye.
Bye.